The reason they won't, and a lot of people don't realize this, like when they did the Chinese chicken jerky stuff back in the day, that hasn't closed yet either because they never found the root cause. Obviously, a lot of dogs were getting Fanconi syndrome. To this day, we still don't know why. And so it stays kind of in limbo. The FDA will obviously review research articles and stuff like that that are probably going to pop up, right? Because certain people literally put their careers on the line saying, this is what it does. And so they're going to be out there for the rest of their career trying to play it out because their career depends on it. That's the reality of it. But the FDA self-admittedly came back, and obviously when I wrote my article, Dr. Solomon did a press release, but right, he came out and he said, A, I chose the wrong wording. B, I didn't realize it was going to be weaponized, which it was, right? And then the final one is the multifaceted deal. And the funny thing, and it's the ass kicker on that one, is if you actually go back to that 2018 study by Kaplan and the University of Davis, if you actually read their conclusion in that, it says that we believe it's a multifaceted disease, and it's literally verbatim what the FDA said. That study never showed grain-free was tied to DCM, but the people that ran with it did, and that's why I'm a big proponent saying, don't read people's summaries, read the articles yourself. And you don't even have to be a scientist to read it because they were nice enough to put it in the conclusion right there, right? And then there's a lot of other fatal flaws in there because taurine samples were handled differently, they don't know how to grades, but they acknowledged all that in the paper like you're supposed to. But people, again, took snippets because it fit their story and their agenda. But at this point, you know, it's not going to happen. Like I said, if people are doing their job and if they would have responded instead of me and get hate mail, there's 4 security guards outside my NAVC talk, which wasn't fun. But the reality of it is if those companies would have came out and said, this is how much taurine, this is how much carnitine's in my food, here's the digestibility of my food, that stuff would have been squashed. That should have been a big learning for all the retailers here. And if it was, then when all the ancient grains hit the market this past year and the year before, if you weren't asking those basic questions, well, A, why do you believe grains are cool now when you were telling me for the last 10 years grains suck, right? And then what's your nutrient composition, and then what is your digestibility? I guarantee they don't have them because those products came to market way fast, right? And the one research study that came out recently shows that all those ancient grains are equal to rice. So if you were cool with brown rice and stuff back in the day, go with the lower cost formula, say goodbye to ancient grains because there isn't much data out there. And a lot of things people don't realize is like quinoa, for example, is not a sustainable ingredient. It was a poor man's ingredient back in the day. The US and EU both ran the demand for human nutrition. And they clear-cut it all to the Andes Mountains and everything and started fertilizing it. So if you're against cutting down rainforests and all that stuff, that's what quinoa did. And so I don't recommend it for that reason, but I'm not going to pay for an expensive rice.